Hey everybody, it's me Sandy and I'm back with another nail art video. This time it's my first try at reverse stamping for a Mosaic nail art challenge. So I am starting off with my favorite base coat, which is Anchor by Zoya. I do want to apologize for a bunch of shadows in this video. I did get a new tripod and getting my lights just right for my camera at this level and still being able to see myself made it kind of tough. I'm also done my right hand off camera. I had to think about which one was which. Oh my goodness. I always do my right hand off camera because I am still a little awkward painting with my left hand, as I think most of us are, unless you're left-handed. So the other colors I'm going to be using are Monroe and Vickie, both from Zoya, and they are from the Thrive collection, I believe, the 2018 one. I really like both of these colors and how they go together, and one would hope in a collection that they actually went together. Anyway, so I'm going to put Monroe, the darker pink color, on my thumb, middle, and my pinky finger, and I'm going to use 2 coats of that. And then on my ring and index finger, I am going to use 2 coats of Vickie. It's a nice light color, that beautiful dove gray, so Monroe will show up on it. So I don't need to use white as a base to make sure that everything popped. Everything's going to pop just beautifully on that wonderful dove gray. Unfortunately, I only have footage of me putting on the first coat because my camera only plays for so long or records for so long before it stops, and it stopped on me and I didn't realize right away. Oops. So now what I'm going to do is put on a coat of my armor from Zoya onto the nails that have the pink color, the Monroe, just to seal that in since I'm not doing anything else to them. And I don't need a quick dry top coat, so I'm just going to use my armor. So now I am so excited about this next product. I got it from Bundle Monster. It's called Mani Mask, and it is a non-latex cuticle barrier that you can just paint on, just like people who can use Simply Peel and those kind of products. It's so great to have this. It does say on the instructions to put it on in thin coats. I find it needs to be a lot thicker to peel off of me, so I tend to put on 2 coats, one kind of thin one and then one heavier one before I wait for it to dry. I love this. I know that there is cuticle tape you can use, or you could use Scotch tape, but this is easy and cost effective, and I'm just buying up a ton of it. I actually have 4 bottles of it right now. I'm halfway through my first bottle and I'm scared I'm going to run out. Obviously, I am narrating this way after I filmed this video, but I just have to say this stuff is amazing. I love it. So for my reverse stamping design, I am using this Conad plate that I got. It has that nice diamond pattern on the bottom row there that I think is going to be not too difficult. I'm going to stamp with my white clear jelly stamper polish using my big bling stamper. I am actually only going to use, I thought I'd use both sides, but I'm only using the one you can see through because it was easier for me to make sure that it was all clearly stamped. I like having the 2 sides, but I did one nail at a time, and because this is my first time doing the reverse stamping, that actually worked best for me. So to start off, I'm just going to take my white stamping polish from Clear Jelly Stamper. I think it's called Jenny's Gonna Love It. The names of some of them are so cute. I do use a lot of stamping polish, especially with my white. It does thicken up, and I have thinned it with some nail polish thinner, but sometimes it doesn't always work. But that time, it worked perfectly. I was really happy with that. So as I said, I was originally going to use both ends of my stamper, but I found that I like to see through the completely clear one, not the one with all the pretty crystals, which is gorgeous, but I can't see through those because I like to turn the stamper over. You'll see me do that a few times. to see how well I've covered or colored in. I haven't covered anything, colored in the design, because of course that's the side that you're going to see once I stamp it onto my nail. You're also going to find I'm going to add lots more polish to my silicone mat, because at first I was being a little conservative, and then I realized that the best way not to ruin the design that is stamped onto the stamper as I'm filling it in is to make sure I have plenty of polish. Of course, it is a fun way kind of balance between too much and not enough, but you'll also see that I had to try and figure out which way for this one was best for me to do. Was it a dotting tool like I'd watched in a lot of videos, or was it a detail brush like I'd seen in others? And for this one in particular, I found that the dotting tool worked best for me, but it could change in the future. So here you can see, after I've placed a little bit of polish, the benefit to the clear jelly stamper. It's because I could turn it over, take a look, and see how I was doing and how the design was going to look once before I placed it on my nail, and I was actually quite pleased with how it was going. So now that I had the design all filled in, it was time to grab my top coat, and I grabbed my armor again because I don't want a fast drying top coat for this, because I didn't want it to dry so fast that the design wouldn't stick. I will try different ones, but it just seemed to make more sense to use my armor. And then of course it was time for me just to let the top coat get a little tacky and then try and decide where to place my design. For me, that's always the hard part. I mean, you know, I know I was doing the full nail, but getting the right way is always tough for me to figure out which way I want to do it. So now I'm just pressing down the design onto my nail and rolling it to make sure it's stuck, and then really carefully peeling it off. And much to my pleasant surprise, it worked! I was really shocked that I didn't ruin it at this point. So next, before I pull up the Mani mask and take the whole design off with it, I had to make sure that I created, I guess, an edge, or cut it so that it wasn't attached, so that the whole stamping design wouldn't come up. I tried different methods. I used my cleanup brush, I grabbed my tweezers, and then I finally went and grabbed my manicure tool and used it like a bit of a polish knife, all while trying to make sure I didn't dig into my cuticle, but making sure that I did create a break so that I could pull the Mani mask off. I also made sure to put a little bit of polish remover using my cleanup brush at the end to kind of melt the stamp design onto the end of my finger so that it didn't, well, just so that it came off nice and cleanly. I think for my first attempt I did pretty good. Next, I grabbed my tweezers and pulled off the Mani mask, and again, I'm very happy that it actually worked. I was very, very careful about this because I was really concerned with it pulling the whole thing off the nail, but I shouldn't have been. I was careful. Obviously, still a lot of cleanup to do, but I did some of it now and then some of it off camera. So once I had that all done, I grabbed my stamper and repeated this whole process 3 more times to cover the other dove gray nails. So that's my index finger on my left hand, and of course the index and ring finger on my right hand. So I forgot to film this next part, but once I was done with all of my nails with the stamp design and all of my cleanup, I did put on a coat of my Zoya armor to seal in the design I had done. I did wait for it to dry a little bit just to make sure I wasn't going to smear anything around, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing happened to that design I had spent so much time working on. So here is my finished design, and I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. I know that I had a few little technical errors, but I think for my first time reverse stamping, I did a really good job. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you could please go down and give this video a huge thumbs up, as well as hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and hit the post notification bell so you can find out when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.